Welcome back to part 2 of how do you heal from toxic parents. How do you outgrow those patterns you picked up in childhood that leave you feeling anxious and doubtful of your worth and feeling like you're just not good enough, even decades later. Now, if you watched part 1 of this series, I gave you a little exercise that you should do before watching this one. And the exercise was basically, imagine someone who you're feeling protective over, someone younger, and imagine them going through your childhood. Which scenarios and experiences make you go, oh my goodness, I do not want them to go through that? What this exercise does is it helps you see your childhood from an outside perspective, because it can be pretty hard to kind of identify which parts are unhealthy and which parts aren't. So now, if you've watched the video and you've done the exercise, you are going to have a list of different experiences and different memories that pop up that give you that feeling of, oh my goodness, I do not want someone who I care about to go through that. So what I would like you to do with all of them, all right, is I want you to go through each one, and I really want you to work your empathy muscle here, all right? Imagine this person you're protective over going through that. What kind of emotional patterns, perspectives of the world and how it works, and perspectives of themselves do you think they're going to pick up as a result of going through that experience? Now, I really want you to dig deep, and you might find yourself getting emotional and vulnerable, and that's a good thing, okay? Because what we want is for you to open up and start being vulnerable about these memories so that we can heal them instead of leaving them closed off and numb to it. Now, this can be quite tricky if you're not used to this type of exploration, right? Which is why when I'm working with you one-on-one, it's a lot easier for me to spot it and walk you through it. But I'm going to give you an example, and I'm going to show you how it can be done, all right? Say you're somewhere in your early teens, okay? And you've just discovered this new musician, and you're super excited to listen to this musician's songs as soon as you get back home from school and finish your homework, all right? So you get back home, you finish all your homework, and you make sure you do that because your mom is really particular about getting your homework done. And then you listen to this musician's song, and it's amazing. You find yourself really losing yourself to the music. And right in the middle of the song, out of nowhere, you hear your mom come in and say, "What are you doing?" And you immediately panic, and your heart just sinks to your tummy, and you said, No, mom, I finished my homework. I've done my homework. It's completely done. You have nothing to worry about. Like, I'm done. I can listen to the music, right? And she's like, no, you have to revise because you have an exam next week. And you say, but mom, like, you told me I can relax, I can do whatever. As long as I finished what you told me to do, I can do whatever I want. And she's like, no means no. I want you to get your work done. I want you to revise more because I want you to get an A in this test. Now, what do you think someone would feel going through this? Let's try thinking about it, right? Number one is this feeling of helplessness, right? This feeling of, I did something right. I did what my mom asked me to do. I followed the rules, but somehow I still couldn't do the thing that I wanted to do. I have no control over what I do and what I'm able to do. Another feeling that might come up is, okay, relaxation comes at a cost. Relaxation should be sneaky. And if I want to listen to music, I'm going to have to hide it from my mom because she's going to come in and barge in and just tell me, no, I can't do it, with no reason as to why I can't do it. So now having to relax and do what you want has to be kind of done while you're sneaking around. So someone who went through this could feel guilty of taking time to rejuvenate, or they could have an alert state of mind whenever they are relaxing and not actually relax because at the back of their mind they're sort of worried, like someone might barge in. Even though they're full-grown adult, they might have their own kids at this point, but there's still this alert sense that prevents them from relaxing. Now, you might say, Asha, you're telling me that someone can pick up all of this just from one single memory? Now, look, probably not. But here's the thing, the more you explore the memory, the more you uncover just how unhealthy the environment you grew up was in the first place. So let's just explore, okay? Now you can put two and two together and be like, okay, that household was probably really strict. There's a lot of rules in that household. And when you have all these rules and you weren't given an explanation as to why you can do some things but you can't do something else because you're just supposed to listen to it, it means that more likely than not, your parents just didn't respect you. They showed you that your understanding of the rules is not important. You just need to listen to them and follow their rules, and you do not deserve an explanation. Which also could probably mean that your opinion just wasn't respected or wanted in the household. So you grew up with the people closest to you basically showing you, I don't want to hear what you have to say. I don't value what you say. I don't want to hear what you say. And your opinion is not something that I hold to any regard. Now, do you see how all of this branches out? So with that in mind, if someone goes through this, someone goes through all of the things I just said, can you start kind of piecing things together and be like, okay, it kind of does make sense why this person might not feel like their voice is important. Even though they're amazing at their job, they have 20 years of experience, and yet there's always this uncomfortable feeling, just somewhere in there saying that, that's not a worthy idea. That's not a good idea. You should probably keep that to yourself. Or how they might feel completely just guilty whenever they relax and feeling like, no, they should be doing something productive. You can kind of piece these two things together, right? And what's interesting about this is that these emotional patterns that you picked up don't always stay the same. They sort of adapt as you grow older. So for example, when you're younger, right, you could have picked up a feeling of, I'm just not good enough, I'm not good at what I do, I have no worth. But as you grow older and you have more experience at your work, and now you kind of have concrete evidence that, hey, I'm actually good at what I do, and you can say that yourself. But that feeling of being unworthy is sneaky. It adapted because now you actually can't prove that you're not good enough, right? It's right in front of your face. So how it manifests is not having, a really good confidence and self-esteem when it comes to sharing your ideas. You're always, being overly cautious and thinking 5, 6, 7 times before actually sharing your ideas and your thoughts. Or it could be like you're definitely staying smaller than what you are capable of, right? You stay safe when it comes to your growth potential in your career and asking for promotions and asking for a raise. You kind of take what you can get, even though, at the back of your head, you are worth a whole lot more. And everyone around you, all your loved ones say, hey, I know you are at this level, but you could be way higher with what you're capable of. So what do you do once you've branched all this out, when you really uncovered all the little beliefs that you could have picked up from your childhood? And you're probably going to feel very vulnerable. You're probably going to feel like something was taken away from you. You're going to feel wronged, and that is a good feeling, because what I want you to do when you understand the gravity of all the things that happened to you or did not happen to you is, this is your exercise for this video, yeah? I want you to either write a letter or record a voice note directed at the parent that affected you the most. And I want you to start it off by saying, hey mom or hey dad, I know you tried your best, but I wish you were X. And I want you to keep going. And for example, it could be like, I wish you trusted me a bit more. I wish you listened to my ideas. I wish you encouraged me to explore who I am instead of trying to enforce the ideals that you had for me. Whatever these things are, I want you to really write that feeling of sorrow, like a feeling of just that loss. I want you to share that. It could be long, it could be a 20-minute recording, it could be a 5-page thing, whatever it is, I want you to write that out, because that is not only going to be incredibly cathartic, it's going to be the Kickstarter for your growth. It's going to get all those internal gears shifting, because now you understand the gravity and you are starting to stand up for yourself in a way. I wish you were more X, I wish you were more Y. It's gonna be intense, okay? But I promise you, it will do wonders. Now, when we work one-on-one, this looks a little different. right? In my first session with clients, I put them under hypnosis and I walk through them, I guide them through their childhood, and we uncover all of this together. And I help them do all this work for them. And it looks a little bit different, especially when you're under hypnosis. You are a lot more suggestible to different ideas and concepts. And while this may not have the same intensity and the same sharpness, it does have the same mechanism on how to outgrow those patterns. By the end of the first session, after doing this cathartic work and identifying the different moments and having that conversation with your parents, a lot of people feel incredibly light. The week after, they feel lighter, they feel like something's changing, something's moving, and that's the point. Once you write it down, once you go through that, something's gonna feel like it's moving, all right? Anyway, I've gone for really long now. Go and write that letter or record that audio. And one more thing, you don't need to show it to them. You don't need to show it to them. This is very internal work, all right? This is very personal. You can delete it after if you want. Do not show this to them. Anyway, I hope that you power through it and find the courage to be vulnerable as you do this exercise. And as per always, if you're an introverted professional struggling with anxiety and feelings of self-doubt and imposter syndrome, despite the fact that everything in life seems to be going okay, but you just don't feel amazing and you'd like to feel that and find your natural leadership, feel free to book a short call with me to see if my 8-week program is the right fit for you. The link is in the comments. I will talk to you guys in the next video.